What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 50 of the Underground Pub Show here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. My name is Schreiber, here as always with Bobo and CJ. Thank you all very much for tuning in this fine evening. So yeah, 50 of these. We have now officially done 50 episodes in just what, a year and a half's time. It was you this time. It was you this time. I made sure before the broadcast started to go ahead and make sure my
watching because I was waiting for you to do it.
No, I took care of that immediately.
I need to share.
We've become seasoned pros.
In 50 episodes, we've clearly gotten really good at doing this whole podcast. If you saw last week's episode, you would know that we've got this. We know what we're talking about. We plan about stuff before shows happen. And
yeah, I watched sports this week.
Yeah, we watch sports every week and stuff like that. We really know what we're doing.
I don't want to talk about sports, though. There's so many other things going on right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like what, the new Star Wars trailer?
The Black Panther trailer looks amazing. Have you guys seen that yet?
And Trent Reznor's like little thing with 9 Inch
of the Halloween theme with Trent Reznor.
Where
Black Panther looks sick, dude. Bobo, have you seen that?
It really does, but it does.
Yeah, I think that looks awesome.
It really does, but it does.
It does. Yeah. Thor looks sick.
Thor looks fun.
I don't know how I feel about this new Thor movie.
No, it's
right
gonna
now.
be
I
a
think
fun time.
Black Panther will be a bit more dramatic.
Yeah,
and Thor is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
like a comedy romp through the galaxy. It's like a Flash Gordon type of situation going on, I think. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I love the way it's coming out, man.
That movie Geostorm is supposed to open up this Friday, and like that looks like it's going to. I mean, I think it's going to do well, but it's going to be bad.
Armageddon? You mean
Armageddon / Twister / Into the Storm? Like
2012, Day After Tomorrow.
Dude, when I saw the buildings getting hit by waves, it's like, I have honestly seen this before. I've seen it before, and I'm seeing it again.
I thought it was a commercial for that car.
I thought it was a commercial for the old DVD, not Armageddon, the other one. That
The Day After Tomorrow.
Yes, when Morgan was. I thought it was a like.
It had homeboy from Jaws 3, Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah,
I like that. Out of all the movies, that's your Dennis Quaid.
But yeah, dude, that was a great movie, man. Jaws 3.
Go-to Dennis Quaid.
The 3D effects were so good.
From Jaws 3D.
One they like go into the aquarium.
In SeaWorld, yeah.
Someone's leg floats by and it gets really weird. There's a boat.
The best scene ever was when the shark blows up at the end. Spoiler alert! And like because of the 3D effects, like you see like half of half of his jaw like floating like awkwardly like.
But they show it on regular TV, so it looks like really poorly done.
It's the same thing with Friday the 13th Part 3. It was in 3D, and so there's a lot of like. There's a scene where Jason crushes this person's head, and one of his eyes shoot out.
And the regular TV.
If you watch it on TV, which I did on Friday the 13th this year, you can see the string on the eyes it shoots out.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm sure it looked great in theaters, but
all the deaths are like 3D related too.
Yeah, on high def televisions, it just looks.
Dennis Quaid from Jaws 3 fame.
That is funny.
Don't be knocking Jaws 3, man. It was a great movie.
He's also in that weird space movie with.
It was horrible. It was really poor.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
it was fucking bad.
It's better than Jaws: The Revenge.
Well, everything is better. Everything is better.
Is
than
it?
Jaws.
Are you sure it's better than Jaws: The Revenge?
Yes, it is better, dude.
Are you sure?
Yes, go back and watch Jaws: The Revenge.
I've seen them all.
Go back and watch it again and be like, oh yeah, you're right. That is utterly.
That's the one with the butler from Batman.
Yeah,
Michael Caine. Yeah,
it's me, Michael Caine.
You got to remember what the plot. I mean, Jaws 3 is a little ridiculous. It's about a shark that sneaks into SeaWorld, but like Jaws: The Revenge is just what the name says. It is about a shark that seeks revenge on a family and swims from
Amity Island to the Bahamas.
Yeah, to the Bahamas. And like, there's even a scene where like the shark's floating past one of the the underwater submarines or whatever, and it is blatantly not a real shark.
The shark roared at the very end when Mario Van Peebles was in the water. It's like.
Them people survived too, right?
Yeah.
I was always like, he got
the first black guy to ever survive a movie shark attack.
He did, and they literally couldn't. This fun Jamaican actor, they had to get a guy with a horrible Jamaican accent.
Yeah, I remember he was in the submarine.
And fake dreads. There was plenty of guys with real dreads on the island.
He was in the submarine when the fake shark swam by, and he goes, Hey, there's a real big shark down here, man. Like,
I think I left the theater at that point.
Right
I was
near
I
the
watched it in the
beach.
theater too.
no, I think didn't it come straight to TV?
No,
No,
I
it was
watched
in
it
the
in the
theater.
theater.
Really?
I watched it in the theater.
Dude, the banana boat scene.
Is that the one like this?
Yeah.
I just love how the guy was like, oh, there's a real big shark down here, man. I'm sitting there thinking, like, I don't care if you work in aquatics, like, if you're in one of those little mini submarines in the Bahamas and a giant great white swim, wouldn't you be a little bit alarmed? Like, hey,
I would have to change my underwear.
yeah,
as
like,
soon
I was
as
like,
got out.
this is probably a
When
really
it's
bad
bigger than your
scenario.
sub, and it looks at you like it knows who you are. I want the person in there going to eat them.
That's like the
Oh,
Jaws
that's
Nintendo
the same
game.
shark that's
Is that-
after
yeah.
my friend's family. Like, oh god, it was
Dude,
horrible.
I mean, it's not even the same shark though. It's
No,
like,
but it was a relative of the shark, apparently. Like,
yeah, it wanted revenge.
yeah, it did. It wanted revenge, and it first got the.
Didn't
son
realize
at the
they changed
beginning.
actors so many times. It's hard to track down which guy you're
Yeah,
going
he
after.
wanted the wife.
Here's like a token thing
It
for
never
any
saw
shark
the wife.
movie. Was there like an old, like raggedy looking, like beach bum looking guy that like knew everything about the shark, and he's the one that identified?
Ben Peebles was that character because he was like a marine biologist type of guy, right? More or less, I guess.
Yeah, they were actually like
There's
looking
like
for
some kind of quasi Hemingway type of guy in
it-
every
it's-
movie.
it's-
You ever notice that?
their
it
whole
did have
job
the-
was looking for snails. I remember
Yeah.
that. They're,
It did have the wife of Roy Schneider's character from
That's
the
what I'm
original
saying,
too.
but
Like
no,
she was in it.
not one single shark ever laid eyes on her. And the entire family of Jaws.
It was in her contract.
That is
Yeah.
that is
Shit,
well,
what
she was on the beach when the little boy from the first one was killed. She was on the beach.
They didn't know that was a family member. How could they know? There's like 1,000
exactly
people on the bar beach
exactly,
that
dude.
day.
That movie is
How
bad.
did they know that it was?
I think it's right up there with like Troll 2 and a bunch of movies like that is like the worst films ever made. and like
Troll
The
2
Room.
is fantastic.
No, Troll 2
take
is
that back.
I mean, it is a bad movie, but it's a hilariously bad movie.
the Leprechaun in the Hood movie was
yeah, that's and you know they made a sequel. There's a Leprechaun in the Hood
sequel?
too. Yeah,
He went back.
yeah,
Dude, there's
he went back to the Hood
There's a Tyler Medea Boo 2 coming out.
in theaters, and it's probably gonna do really
I
well.
saw that.
sadly.
Yeah, it'll make billions.
Yeah,
Well, not
dude-
billions, but it will make more than it costs to make.
It'll make more than Jaws:
Justice
The
League.
Revenge.
Well, it should.
It should. It definitely should.
Jaws the Revenge, like she had like her shark sense going off. Like she would just stare at the water.
Yeah,
and
and
then
it
just-
doesn't zoom in.
yeah, like,
she kills the shark too in the exact same way that Roy Schneider kills the shark in the first
Propane
one.
tank, right?
Enough to where even
no, she stabs him with a boat.
she doesn't like. I mean, because she shoots him off the thing.
She doesn't shoot nothing. She stabs the shark with the boat.
Yeah, but
after
don't they intertwine
roars.
it
Because they can call in.
Don't
and
they
explain
intertwine
how-
it with like scenes of Roy Schneider actually doing from the first
Well,
one?
yeah, they're like, "Smile, you son of a bitch," and then she stabs him with the front of the boat.
Say that again, CJ.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
Oh, you sound like you were starting to do like a Rocky impression in there.
No, I mean, I love Jaws.
you know.
Oh,
So yeah,
that sucks. Getting out of the water.
so yeah,
Rodney
the
Dangerfield.
live
Sounded
chat
like
is open
every
along with our
character on
hotline.
Family Guy.
The live chat is obviously open along with our hotline 907-7686. If you guys want to call in and talk about Jaws: The Revenge or any other bad movies or good movies for that matter, let us know. There's other stuff that happened in sports that is also kind of interesting, I guess. Well, I mean, really a lot happened. I'm just like, I had this all kind of like in my head before I got here, and now I'm like kind of blanking on all of it. So I guess I'll start with something funny since I've got the jersey on that I wanted to get y'all's take on this. I told CJ about this before we got here. This Friday is when the SPHL opens up their season, which is what the Pensacola Ice Flyers play in. That's their league.
Okay.
And just recently, they announced it was actually announced on ESPN because they thought this was worth talking about how the playoff format's going to be this year, and they're the first professional league in North America to do this, and it's really okay. So 8 teams can make the playoffs. There's no division in this because it's a small league. So 8 teams can make the playoffs, and how this is going to work is the top 3 seeds pick who they play, depending as long as they're within the 8 teams that make the playoffs. So essentially, like say if the Ice Flyers win, a majority of their games this year and they get the first seed, they can pick
the shittiest
whoever
team
they
out there, basically.
yeah, or like
Or the shittiest team of the 8. They
well,
think.
and
Who
then
they match up best with.
yeah, exactly. And then the second and third follow in suit, and then they just go through.
But
the
do you
format.
want to knock out the easy person first?
Well, see,
Wouldn't
no,
you rather
and-
leave them around for later rounds?
And
What
see,
are you
and
gonna do?
that's what ESPN brought up whenever I saw about this because I just happened to be watching and they're talking about the Southern Professional Hockey League, which somehow gets brought up a lot on ESPN, usually about the Ice Flyers, but regardless, that's what they brought up and they were using it in NHL terms, like, well, what happened with the Chicago Blackhawks when the playoffs happened last year is they did get the last seeded team, which was the Predators. But the Predators started off really bad, and then they got healthy and they got real hot towards the end and started beating everybody, and and then eventually, went on to clean house and made the Stanley Cup playoffs or finals, where the Blackhawks during the season never lost a game, or if they did, they lost like maybe one to the Calgary Flames. So they could have just picked them to play, and a team they know they can beat and stuff like that. So it's interesting, I guess. I'm curious to see how this plays out.
Me too.
The first three teams can pick who they play. Like I said, it's odd. I don't like. I know it's the first one in North America. I don't know if anybody around the world's ever tried this before, but I don't know. Like, what do you think of that? Like,
it's pretty cool. It definitely works a lot better in like a league such as non-premier. I don't know how you'd say it. Like big
top of the line,
big league, Division 1, whatever. I guess in the lower division hockey, it's great at least to work it out and see how it works.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great spot to experiment with something like that. And I guess if it's successful, it'll probably spread on up to the ranks. It might even make it up to the NHL.
God,
I don't know. I don't know how logistically they would. I mean, you would have to give them like a good heads up of who you're going to play next.
Yeah.
Because like after that first, do they do a playoff? Do they do like out of 5 or out of 3 or anything like that?
The first couple rounds all the rounds are best of 3 and the finals are best of 5.
And home, and I guess the best seed has the home.
Yeah, best seed has.
So the second round, when they beat someone 2-0 right away, so I guess the winning seed will pick who they're going to play, or has to wait until the next game's done.
Yeah,
and then say, okay, now we're playing this. Oh, no, I guess at that point it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. At that point, I think once
you have to pick no one.
Once the bracket's set up that way, then it just follows suit.
As I was working on my head, I was like, wait a minute. When I get to the next round, it's already done. You already know what's up. Okay.
Yeah, they pretty much already have it ready to go after that.
Well, then that should work then.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Like, and it's for, like you said, for a league like this, it works. I mean,
yeah. Start off, see how it goes.
If the NHL tried to do it, it would be kind of a
I don't know how because everything comes down to sales and ticket sales and stuff like that.
Yeah,
everyone wants to see this. I think when it's playoffs teams, you really shouldn't have any bad games. I mean, you always do, but look, you would think you would see some good matchups.
Well, you remember back in 2010, the Seattle Seahawks, they made the playoffs with a losing record and actually went on to win their first game. I don't remember who it was against, but
the Saints, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That was when the beast mode came.
Didn't y'all make a losing record playoff the year before that?
But no, the year before that we won the Super Bowl.
Have you ever made to the playoffs with a losing record?
No.
The Saints haven't. No. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong.
We almost did in 2004 with an 8-8 record.
Yeah.
But the Jets beat the Rams, I believe, or vice versa. The Rams beat the Jets, so the Rams got the last seed.
Oh, by the way, while we're speaking on the Saints, I want to congratulate you guys on a winning season finally after 3 or 4 years.
Well, it's not officially a winning season, but
above 500. As of right now,
of today, it's the
Yeah.
first time they have had a winning record since 2013.
Yeah, that's a long
well.
time ago.
Congrats on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good
Who do you
about
play
it.
next?
The Green Bay Packers.
Well, we do have a backup guy.
The game is in Lambeau Stadium.
Yeah, we
It's
do have
Lambeau Field.
Lambeau Field.
We have a
whatever.
very backup type of guy out there now, unfortunately.
Brett Hundley, but the Saints have a terrible records against backup quarterbacks or.
But your
second
defense,
stringers,
even though they give up a lot of points, they apparently score a lot of points too now. So
Yeah, they were responsible for 21 points against the Detroit Lions.
they beat them. They would have beat themselves.
They tried to beat themselves.
Yeah,
they were trying.
The
hardest.
offense
So
was.
how many points did they allow?
Well, you got to
38,
remember,
38.
Okay,
one
they
of
allowed
them was a
38, but they
defensive
scored-
touchdown.
Okay, so they allowed. How much did they allow?
30,
Defense.
No,
32.
They allowed 32, and how much did they score?
No,
two of
35, 36, like or somewhere around there.
So would they have beat themselves? Is what I'm wondering.
They're trying.
They were trying to. Like,
damn hardest to do it.
The offense. We still got the SPHL picture up there while we're talking about the Saints,
But the Fire Ants from Fayetteville.
yeah, I mean they're
who?
they're not the Fire Ants anymore. They're
That's the only SPH team I know besides the Flyers. Is
Yeah.
the Fire Ants.
well, like I said, I don't think they're called the Fayetteville Fire Ants anymore. They're called something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, back onto the Saints. If you that game against the Lions though, it's funny. It's like things flipped in that game there for a minute. They they started off the game looking.
It was a cat.
They,
I was just like,
yeah,
what
like,
is
Kenny
going
was trying to get rid of the
on,
cat.
man?
There was a cat.
They started off the game with a 45-10 lead, and then it was actually their offense that was screwing everything up.
Who let the fucking cat into the bar? That's what I want to know.
I know, right? It's like, who let the cat into the
Son of
underground
a
pub?
bitch cat.
But yeah, their offense started messing everything up. Like they were. Breeze has gone through the first 4 games this year without a turnover. Had 2 of them in that game.
One of which
And-
was bullshit, though.
Yeah, one was pretty ridiculous. But then Mark Ingram had a really he had a great game too. If you had Mark Ingram in fantasy, you for the most part were pretty pleased. But he did have a costly fumble, which I think the Lions definitely took advantage of. So it was a lot of weird things just kept happening. But then on the Saints side of the ball, as far as defense goes, it was the weirdest thing. I mean, they took advantage of every single turnover they could get. They had two fumbles. One of them they recovered for a touchdown. Rookie out of Ohio State, Marshawn Lattimore, he got himself a pick 6. And then what really sealed the deal was Cam Jordan in the end zone. He blocked a pass by Matt Stafford and then caught the pass that he blocked for a touchdown, which, believe it or not, was Cam Jordan's first ever touchdown.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does every player of the last name of Lattimore do very well in the NFL?
Yeah, they usually do.
It seems like it, yeah. I mean,
Wasn't the guy from that college football movie called Lattimore? The guy that did steroids. It was like a fake version of FSU.
Oh, you were talking about God. That I know it. The movie.
the
It's
linebacker guy. What's his last name? Lattimore.
Lattimore, and that was the program.
That's it.
Yeah,
And he was
that
on the
movie
steroids.
Is phenomenal.
Just saying, Lattimore
so
people
what-
seem to play well. Apparently,
Christy Swanson's in that. And she's
She is.
hot.
but
And her
does
breasts.
it count if he was on steroids though? Like, I mean,
No,
it counts when
it's
your guys are on
He
steroids.
gets an asterisk.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. They have to have steroids just to get out of bed.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
I accept that. That's fine. If that's what they got to do
just make it
to
legal,
last
fuck
a
it.
year, to play the season, that they got to shoot some shit and some joints and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fair enough.
Hey, if it gets them on the field and playing,
Just don't waste all your money. Save some for your retirement and for your medical.
that's true. Do you know the real story about what happened is we didn't get a first down through the last 24 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
We
I
had
heard that.
There
Yeah.
were 7 drives in a row where the Saints could not get a first down, and that's why the Lions slowly crept back into the game.
They-
They
they-
kept
they
getting
were-
the ball back.
and they were turning it over like very
Yeah.
frequently too. You know, like
But what it could have, should have, they didn't come back. The Saints still
Yeah.
won, and they've won 3 in a row. I'm not emotionally invested yet, but looking better.
It's starting to look better. And I mean, they've got the Packers this Sunday in Lambeau. The game's at noon.
in Lambone.
I mean, y'all should win.
We should,
Honestly.
but like CJ was saying though,
They might get a game plan for that guy, but
but like CJ was saying though, I mean the Saints have had some bad luck in the past against backup quarterbacks. It's the weirdest thing. Like we were talking about before the game started in the 2011 season, which outside of winning the Super Bowl, in my opinion, it was the best looking Saints team that I've ever seen. That's when they had Jimmy Graham and Darren Sproles. They were just, I mean, it was an on fire team that year. And out of the 3 games they lost that year, one of them was to a Rams team that won 2 games that year. And it was when we saw their backup quarterback. It was some veteran, wasn't it? That was starting for him.
It doesn't matter.
It was some guy. It was some old dude that I couldn't like. I'd heard of him, but it's one of those quarterbacks that like you only remember when you finally hear the broadcaster say the name. Like,
You know,
oh Christ,
you know what
that
the
guy,
Saints
like-
were for the longest time? You know when you're kind of in a dry spell with a lady and you kind of lower your standards just to
slump busting.
Yes, to bust that slump. The Saints were the slump buster for any quarterback or offense that was kind of in a funk, and they just kind of beat up on us.
Ole Miss Saint shows up.
and Ole Miss Saints at the bar, and you just kind of show up, buy her beer, say she looks pretty, and then do the rest. I mean, that's how it was for us for the longest time. Any backup schmo-face quarterback would come in and look awesome, like Max Hall, Mark Bolger. I think that's
Where's
the guy
Bolger at these days?
I don't know.
That was your moment for the ladies.
Sam Bradford did it to us a couple times.
He's out.
RG3 looked like the greatest quarterback.
I
in
don't know
history
where
of the
he
world.
is.
Well, that
Or
yeah,
what
I
he
mean,
is doing.
in our defense that year with RG3 though, that was like the one year he did.
We
Well,
lost
though.
to a McCown.
We did lose.
We
to
lost to
McCown,
the,
him.
My God.
We lost to the bad McCown. We lost to Luke McCown, our
Yeah,
backup.
yeah, I
It was
remember
like one of
that.
his 2 wins.
That was in 2008, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember that.
And And also, the Saints have a terrible time anytime they play the Rams, the Redskins, or the Browns. Those three teams, no matter what the record is, they come in and they mollywop us.
Yeah,
You know,
it's-
since the Browns have come in town since '99, we've beat them once.
What is
Yeah.
that? How?
I'm serious. We beat them once.
Me and CJ bared witness to one of those losses.
Yeah,
What?
2002,
2000
1999.
Yeah.
We beat them in 2006. They beat us in 2010. They beat us in 2014. And sure enough, we play them next year. They'll probably mollywop us again.
The Browns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. And when the Saints are like playing legitimately bad, they seem to beat teams they shouldn't beat. Like the game that you were at against the Packers, they won that game, and relatively convincing from what I remember.
Yeah, it was a good game.
And I want to say that
For real.
same year, the Saints beat the Steelers, who went on to the AFC Championship in Pittsburgh. And that wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Like I think we beat them by like 30 points or some shit. Like, but then the Saints will go and play like a 2-win Tampa team and lose. Like it's
Fucking
Speaking of 2-win Tampa teams,
dude, they're
yeah,
awful.
it is.
I thought the Tampa boys were talking about this is their year. They're going to win the division.
It's
But
not,
first came and win a fucking home game versus. They can't. They're very bad.
yeah, it's not looking good. And
It's really shit.
and if the Saints keep up what's going on right now, well, you know they got the Packers this Sunday, and then they play the Bears next week, and then I believe the Bucks are right after that, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. So I mean,
I think the Bucks got that Hard Knocks curse, man.
yeah, I don't. A team
What?
has never made the playoffs, having been on that show.
And the
Ever.
Bucks every year, man. Everyone's like, man, this is the year they're gonna do it. They
Their
got all the
fans
teams,
really
man,
are
like-
we're really excited this year, and all I've seen is shit.
Dude,
Yeah,
that pass that Fitzpatrick threw, where he tried this little flip pass, and it was like the worst thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was just,
First off, he had no business being on the field anyway, but
he still threw a few touchdowns.
he
looked,
did.
I mean,
but
Why was
God.
Fitzpatrick in to begin with? Like,
because Winston got
Jameis
hurt.
like twisted his pinky or something like that.
oh yeah,
Nah, he hurt his shoulder.
oh bummer.
He's I don't think he's throwing today, but he was doing other stuff, I guess. But
Yeah, that's another quarterback out there too that started throwing and now is no longer throwing. Andrew Luck. I'm starting to wonder if this guy is even going to play this year.
remember what I
Like,
used to say about Andrew Luck and people thought I was overreacting?
you called him the C word. You went off on it a couple.
I just
It was like
never
it was
really-
in one of the first episodes that
Was
we
it
had. You just
Cool,
Yeah, I call him a cool boy.
you did not call him a cool boy.
calm, collected.
No,
Yes.
you were
Control?
not on the Andrew Luck train last year.
I
Dude.
just never understood the hype,
Well, he
and it got to a point where it became annoying.
he did well in college, and I mean he managed to
A
make.
lot of guys do well in college.
But I mean, he did fair enough coming into the NFL to where he maintained what the
His
Colts' success.
job.
I think his
And the Colts' success, he took him to the AFC Championship.
his division
and-
had a lot to do with that, dude.
Yeah. I'll agree.
I mean,
think
the
it's funny
Jags
how-
until this year. I'm sorry, Bobo. The Jags until this year weren't that great, and then the Texans have never had a quarterback, and the Titans are kind of shit. And I'm sorry to cut you off, Bobo. Go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say now. Oh, no, I don't. I forgot.
No.
I'm like legitimately sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
At least
We
he
do it all
apologized
the
this time.
It's normal.
At least, like I said, at least he apologized this time. So
But Jacksonville's doing better though. Now better.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are doing okay.
I still think Bortles should be better than he is, but he's doing good enough. They
Mm-hmm.
lost their best guy though. Well, one of their best guys, but they're still doing okay.
Fournette's he's still in there.
If
No, AK-40. What's his name? Fucking the receiver guy that got hurt. It's out for the year.
Oh, Allen Robinson.
Thank you.
yeah.
AR-15, not AK. American made, not Russian. Sorry.
If for just a minute, if we can bring it back to the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. I kind of I wanted to bring this up a little bit too. Like, so, I mean, you all right over there, Kenny?
I thought you were saying it like that, so I'd bring the picture up.
Oh, I mean, I am, but I'm not done talking about this real quick though. Outside of this being a huge blow in CJ, this is your time to shine, buddy. Outside of this being a huge blow to the Packers, fantasy, this really messes some people up because Aaron Rodgers was having a really good year. I mean, he's generally one of those guys that it's one of the few quarterbacks you draft early, you know? And now you're without one of your best players, you know? I mean, CJ, like, if you had Aaron Rodgers on your team, like, what's the first thing you're thinking right now to try to turn your fantasy season around? You know,
Do you panic trade or do you work the free agency? Eli should be out there for most people.
I panic trade Bobo.
You wouldn't pick up like an Eli or a Carson Palmer might still be out there. I know Eli's going to be out there in most leagues. That are like 12-man leagues. Anything other than that,
or maybe Deshaun Kaiser.
Is he even like playing?
No, it's Kevin
He
Hogan.
got benched.
No. It was announced today that Deshaun Kaiser is starting again this week.
Yeah,
there you
well, that answers your question. No, you can't play a flip flop. The whole first time he's a Browns quarterback, and then they're flip flopping him in and out of games.
Yeah.
No,
That's always
fuck
a good
off,
strategy.
stay away.
That is a very it's a very Browns. It's an incredibly Browns thing to do.
It
like
is.
just keep switching quarterbacks. Oh, this guy sucked 1 week. Let's go back to the other guy.
I'm not gonna lie. I did panic trade when OBJ went down, and I only had one wide receiver on my roster.
Who'd you pick up?
I traded for Michael Thomas, and
Who'd you trade?
CJ Anderson. Guy needed running backs. I needed receivers, so I figured it was kind of beneficial to both teams. But
Who are your other running backs?
Kamara, McCaffrey, and then Schmo faces. It's just shit backs.
So now you have a couple of number twos.
Yeah, I got a lot of number 2 on my team.
Congrats.
A lot of number 2s on this team.
One guy's almost a number 3.
Right.
So that's a stupendous trade.
It was stupendous. I don't know.
That-
it
that-
depends on what your team looks like. But
Well, if your
yeah,
team looks like a team that likes number 2s, then your team was great.
yeah.
For the record, ladies and gentlemen, that was the trade that CJ could not wait to talk about last week that I kept trying to
They
kind of
never
cut him
knew
off on.
because we never even got to the point to even bring it up. They had no idea.
Yeah,
how
I mean, you were
anxious
just being
he
a
was.
jerk the whole day about
And
it.
now you just stole away from him.
Now you see why I didn't feel like it was worth talking about.
Oh, it wasn't. It's quite shit.
Dude, I picked up some great flavors on the waiver wire too. If you're interested,
So I mean, but Aaron
no,
Rodgers.
I would trade if I had Aaron Rodgers. I would be looking to trade. I mean, there's Cutler's probably
But
the best.
who are you trading? Are you trading Rodgers in a keeper league? What are you doing?
Well, okay,
How are
if
you
it's in a
trading?
keeper league, then no. You know, you're
put
not.
his ass on the IR, but if it's a 10-man regular league, I would look at
So
who has 2
you're
QBs.
trading. You're looking for someone with a QB, and you're getting rid of another player in your team. Is what
Okay,
you're doing?
so as soon as Aaron
'Cause
Rodgers,
you're not going to get anyone good without giving up a star on your
Yeah.
team.
well, that's true. But for example, A-Rod went down in our league. I instantly was like, Joe, I got Cam Newton. Trades on the block, bro.
And did he take that?
Of course not.
Exactly.
But I mean, he could. He should.
I mean, what would you? Well,
It's-
first
it-
off, I would have his team. Not even our viewers don't know what we're talking about, unfortunately. But just be quick about it. His team sucks.
yeah.
There's nothing you can really get from
Yeah.
him. He has because his team was built around Aaron Rodgers. So you got like Jordy. What's the point of getting Jordy now? There's no point in that. So,
Yeah, I mean, everybody's value goes down big time
Yeah.
on
Oh,
that
yeah.
team. So,
I mean,
unless Huntley's pretty good, unless he plays
Well,
well,
unfortunately,
I mean,
he'll look
you know.
good next week, but we won't really know how good he is till the week after.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess it just depends on what your team looks like. You know, I mean, if you drafted, I mean, like I said, like if you drafted Aaron Rodgers, you probably had to take him with like
Well,
your
if you
third or
were
fourth
drafting,
pick,
no, you took me your first pick. If you're drafting,
like your first overall pick, you got Aaron Rodgers. Like,
If
Yeah.
you did that, you're silly.
did he go that early in most leagues?
yeah, if you're your first
most-
round pick, I'm not saying you're pick number 1, round 1, no, but pick number 6, round 1 or
Two,
7.
second round.
I was gonna say he was going in the second.
All right,
third
I'm gonna
round.
need some call-ins on that one then, 'cause I'm pretty sure he went during the first round. of most leagues.
850-907-7686. There's so many injuries going on right now.
Yeah, like I mean,
Jordan Hayward went down within 5 minutes of that Celtics-Cavs game last night.
Yeah.
And it was one of the worst injuries I've seen outside of
that
Psycho
was
Sid.
gross, man. And in the NFL, like I mean, if you think about the top 10 biggest stars in the NFL, 3 of them are now done for the year. Because I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's Mr. Discount Double Check, who you see in commercials as much as Peyton Manning nowadays. He's done, or at least he's gonna be done unless they make the playoffs, which I mean is up in the air right now. J.J. Watt, who's definitely a big figure in the NFL, he's done. OBJ, he's easily one of the most popular stars to come out of the last 3 years or 3 or 4 years. He's done.
My keeper, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is the most I've seen out of superstars like this in a while. Like,
Say
I mean,
David mention David?
David Johnson. Yeah, I mean he's not quite the household name that like OBJ
He
and
still was
JJ
a
Watt is.
round one, pick one, which
But yeah, but I
apparently
mean,
matters.
as far as a team killer, well, one would think it'd be bad, but it looks like Adrian Peterson might be over there to save that team's running game now. Like, I mean,
That's a trade that benefited both teams.
yeah, it did. It really did. I mean, I'm actually happy that it worked out for him. Adrian Peterson needs to be that guy that gets those kind of touches. And sure, if he got like 20-something touches, 2 touchdowns, 100 and something yards, he had a good game. You know, I mean, it works out better for him, and it looks like because it's a conditional draft pick that we're probably gonna get something relatively high for it now. Like, I mean, well,
It's
not.
conditional 6 right now.
Yeah, which
How does it improve? If he improves?
It's probably incentive laden. I'm not positive, but
yeah. I mean, either way, we freed up the space in our backfield and salary cap for that matter, and then
You guys are paying like $10.
yeah, I mean, we did not pay him a lot.
$7 million for 2 years. And so basically, we got a 6th-round pick out of. We spent $7 million for a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, essentially.
He's a free agent. We picked him up, traded him, win-win.
Yeah, I like it. And I mean, it might work out for Arizona. You know, I mean, he looked good in that game, and they won too. So, I mean, it wasn't a pretty win. I know.
What's a Frost King?
I think it has something to do with that Game of Thrones show.
I thought it was something about like highlights and hair.
No, it's because it's you interview the Frost King. I don't know. I don't watch the show.
I don't know.
So
We're reading chat. If you're watching, you can also chat along with
Yeah.
us in
Yeah.
the chat application.
Hey, Keith, what's the name of your
It
name?
makes less sense though, because no one knows these people are talking about. Half of them are drunk. I don't even know what's happening, and most of it's either drunk people or just CJ talking to himself.
Yeah, I do that a lot. So
Yes, a lady sat a little kid and killed the kid.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to bring up earlier.
that was insane.
we were
I thought that
trending.
was like trolling, and I was like, "This
Yeah, I
really
thought it was a
happened."
joke, too, and
Like,
that really
325-pound
happened.
woman sat. I think it was a girl. Like sat in there for like
Yeah, a
8
9-year-old
minutes,
girl.
and she said, "I can't breathe," and she sat there for 2 more minutes. They said.
Yeah, it's actually got this pulled up because we were trending nationwide.
Yeah,
We always trend for the worst things.
I know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Florida, man. It said it was her cousin, but then it was she was 68 years old or something
Dude, I'm
like
pretty
that.
sure I've like totally waited on her before at
Veronica
at
Green
O'Charlie's.
Posey.
Let me see it.
Her last name is Posey.
Yeah,
But one of the problems with Florida is that it's one of those like you get arrested, that shit's out there instantly type of states. Not a lot of states do that, so that's why we always seem worse because our shit gets put out there immediately.
Well, none of us
she
know
struck
anything
the
about
child with a ruler and metal pipe before the child ran to a chair, and then the child cried that she could not breathe. And when Posey stood up, I guess the girl's name was Derica, was unresponsive. But this is a 325-pound woman sitting on this 9-year-old girl.
God.
I mean, there's other ways to punish kids, you know.
Well, yeah, there's other way. There, almost anything would probably be better than that. It's like good God.
Put them in the room, take away all their electronics,
it's
make them read a book.
God, those last minutes though must have really, really been bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough. I mean, in all honesty, I mean it's a little tough to talk about.
Yeah.
To be perfectly frank,
Yeah,
because I mean it's
terrible.
it really is terrible. I mean. You can't help but to roll your eyes a little bit at first when you read stuff like this and be like, God damn it, some people, you know. But then when you really stop and think about that, that's a real fucked up scenario. Like it's scary that some people out there, like, because I'm sure she's not the only one, but it's scary that some people out there would actually think that is a legit.
She's probably done it, but it probably wasn't the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's
it's
the
scary.
last
It's
time.
scary that she did not have the fucking common sense to think that this is not a safe way to punish a little child. You know,
Yeah.
like that's scary, folks. And like, what sucks is that there's other people out there that probably think that these ways or similar ways are legitimate ways to punish children. And look, I mean, I'm old school. I got my ass kicked up and down when I was a kid by my parents for legitimate reasons. But nothing life-threatening. And I'm all for spanking and stuff like that, but don't fucking suffocate your kids.
Yeah, don't
We
sit-
had someone here.
sit on your kid.
Remember that song? God, what was his name? The guy about he was in the MTV Music Awards of dressed up as Beetlejuice with. God damn it! What's the name of that song?
Marilyn Manson.
No, he was with what's the little Hannah Montana chick, but her real name?
Miley
Miley
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
He was with Miley Cyrus in the MTV Music
Was
Awards.
that when the infamous twerking thing happened?
Yeah, and he was dressed up as Beetlejuice.
Was it that Robin Williams guy?
Robin Thicke.
Or
All right, Robin
Thicke.
Thicke.
No, that's
song.
Alan Thicke's son.
So some dude
Yeah.
from
Robin
Pensacola
Williams
beat
guy.
a girl. He beat his daughter or his stepdaughter. He beat her with a a log or a stick while dancing and singing along and playing that song on repeat.
That one song he had.
And neighbors came in and like, what the fuck's going on? And then apparently he was beating her to the song like for a while in Pensacola, and then he got arrested and jailed.
God.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
Any
this.
fucked up news story
Ugh.
now. I'm like, where in Florida is it?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean,
my
it's-
instant thought.
What like one
We're
of
at number one for teachers that fuck children now in schools.
It was one of y'all that
fuck with.
CJ, I think it was you that during our first season that brought up like somebody that got mad
Thank you, Keith.
during a drive-through that threw an alligator.
Yeah, that was in Jupiter.
Yeah, was that in Jupiter? Yeah, like
It went to a Burger King and threw like a 5-foot crocodile or gator. I'm not a fucking expert on animals, but
it was probably an alligator because
Yeah.
a crocodile seems a little unlikely.
yeah,
but
alligator threw a gator in the window.
I think it was a Wendy's.
was
Might have been
yeah.
Wendy's, yeah.
See, I was gonna say if it was a burger. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I had an issue at Burger King, but at least I didn't go that far.
We
you
want to
know?
hear your
Like-
Burger King story again just as much as we want to hear.
Yeah, I know.
What
CJ's
happened? I didn't know
fantasy
what
story.
happened there. But
I mean, like Kenny was saying, it really wasn't a big deal. But like, essentially, what happened was,
returning food to a fast food joint though is never safe.
I told him just to eat the burgers.
Well,
I was just like, just eat the burgers.
because
man.
like he whenever we went through a drive-through when we were leaving the show 2 weeks ago, I was given like I ordered 2 10-piece chicken nuggets and a large fry, and I was given just 2 double cheeseburgers. And I was like, and I didn't think it would be a big deal because there wasn't a lot of people there at the time. And I went to try and walk inside, and it was about 5 minutes before they closed, and the door was locked. And I was knocking on the window, and the lady was like, I guess she couldn't hear me because she had her headset on. So like, I get in the car and CJ drives into the drive-through, and like right when that happens, like 15 cars pull up right behind us. So we're stuck here. Waiting, and we get to the window, and CJ just calmly was like, "Oh, hey, this isn't what we ordered," and he hands a receipt. And the lady got really mad at CJ. She was like, that you must not have listened to me because that doesn't like. I mean, she really got on to CJ, and CJ just awkwardly says, "She goes, yeah, I guess not." And like, and so
Did you guys get your food?
yeah, but you know what the best thing was?
Oh, that was not safe food, man. That was not safe
You know what the
food.
best thing was is she actually asked for my debit card to recharge me for everything because I was charged less than what it should have been.
Yeah.
So like, oh my god, it was something else. Like, yeah, it might not have been safe, but I get.
No, that was not safe
It was,
food.
it was chicken. It was chicken nuggets and French fries. But I mean,
just really
mean,
wanted you
fine.
to just eat it and just move on with your life.
You know what's funny? When I drove by, you were outside the car. And I was like, this doesn't seem well.
That must have been when I was knocking on the window,
Yeah.
and there was another couple that had been sitting there for a long time.
We're just
Apparently,
waiting for our chicken.
yeah, like,
They said.
they were very not happy customers too.
We've been out
But
here for 30
but
minutes.
like
Burger Kings in Pensacola don't close down for no reason.
yeah, I
man.
know, right? It's like it seems like they don't do very well here in
I
Pensacola.
love their
Except
burgers.
It's the
though, man.
staff. You can go on their website because I got mad one night because they fried my hamburger. They fried it. And when I got in the car and I got home, opened it, it was full of grease. I was like, what the fuck? And I looked at it, the lettuce was greasy. And the burger patty I picked up, it smelled like French fry. They literally took the patties and threw them in the deep fat fryer to cook them because it takes like less than half the time.
Yeah.
And then put it on my burger and served it to me. And I went on to the webpage to complain about it. And then I went to go do it on Facebook, and I saw all these complaints. I started seeing people complaining from like our store or the store that used to be open that closed down because it's shit. Yeah, horrible experience. I couldn't go back after that. It was just disgusting.
It was the manager that was giving us shit too.
yeah, like at
She's yelling at the guy in the back, like, I'm talking to customers.
and the best thing about it was like when she was explaining, she was telling some employee to be quiet. She didn't say she was talking to customers. She says, "I'm talking to these folks because apparently they didn't hear me correctly." And like CJ just gave me this look. Is this really fucking happening? Like,
What did she think you did not hear?
I guess
the
we
read back of the
I guess
food?
we pulled up. She gave us a different read back. We must not have our mistake, you know. But like we weren't even rude about it. Like we were just like, oh, sorry, we you know, and like.
Wait,
like
no. Fuck all that. What was on the receipt?
What I mean, it was the wrong order, but like by the time like we got it, like she actually when she gave me the food, she shut the window immediately, like, and then CJ like pulled up for, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is the wrong food. Like before I could even like look in there, I knew it was because I saw the receipt and then I saw like it just turned into this giant clusterfuck and like I mean yeah, go figure, you get bad service at a Burger King at 10 o'clock at night, but I mean like it was just like it just became this whole like
If I was driving, you'd have been stuck with that shit.
I didn't think it would be. I mean, honestly, I didn't.
really was just like, dude, just eat the burgers.
You said it one time. I said, "Well, hurry, can I just see if I can get my food real quick?" And like, it just turned into this big deal. I didn't realize it, but so
It's okay. It's over.
I mean,
No, it's fun.
he was really upset about it.
Yeah, because we had to go back in line and wait like 3 cars ahead of
It
us.
said they had to cook the chicken.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Did you take the burgers
For now
back?
on, for the show's sake, when you guys go to fast food places, roll film, please. Somebody record that shit.
we
really-
should have been.
Dude, I really
we
wish
should have
you
been
would've.
because that manager was a class act, man. It was awesome. Like I'm like confident that if any manager I've ever worked for at Firehouse or Logan's or O'Charlie's ever did anywhere close to that, they would be gone the next day. Maybe not
Dude,
even.
I got
before
fired for way less.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, oh man, it was good stuff. So moving on past Burger King and my bad service that I got.
Just so I can get it out of the way, baseball was awesome, and Yankees won 3 in a row. It's now
Isn't
Oh, they
is,
won tonight?
yeah, it's
isn't
3-2.
isn't that supposed to
Yankees.
like not be awesome though? Like, doesn't everybody hate the Yankees unless you're
I mean,
like?
I'm rooting for the Astros, but they won all 3 games at home. Aaron
Remember, his
Judge
girlfriend's
went
from
off.
Houston.
Oh God, CJ.
No, I'd rather the Astros win over the Yankees, regardless of my girlfriend's
God.
age.
In his defense on that one, I'm rooting. I mean, Grant, I don't really give a fuck, but like,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Astros too. One, because I've been to Astros games, and it's actually a really nice
They're a
stadium.
young, good team,
They're
and
all-
the Dodgers are on the cusp of making
Go
the
blue.
CJ. Don't, there's this. There's no.
Dude,
Don't worry about it. You're fine.
I still
Are
like
there
the
green
Blue Jays-
swimming pools abound?
Yeah.
I still like the Blue Jays, but the Astros are now.
You
close.
still like the Saints, but the Texans. I know
mean,
it's fine.
I
It's
like
fine.
both teams.
This is fine.
Yeah.
Don't
This
the
hat is the only thing that
don't the
fits my
Saints
huge
have a
head.
better record than the Houston Texans right now?
I think they're tied.
I'm not drinking coffee. That nothing's
no.
on fire.
It's I think the Texans are 3-3, and then
Heard.
the Saints are 3-2. And the Texans have one of my new favorite players, Deshaun Watson.
And one of your new favorite fans, your
'Cause-
girlfriend.
No, because he's on my fantasy team. It has nothing to do with the girl that I'm currently
Well, what hat are you wearing right now?
Texans. Dude, it fits my head. I don't have a lot
It's
of hats that
backwards.
fit my head.
It's backwards, so it doesn't fit your head.
I mean, no, it fits my head. I'll wear
He's
it.
making excuses like those women that get beat, and they say it's because he loves
But he
me or
loves
it's my
me.
fault.
I
It's
fell,
my fault.
okay?
I make him act that way.
Jesus Christ. Sorry that I root for my girlfriend's team now. I'm an asshole.
At least you admit it finally.
How can you
That's
even
all
hear
we-
it?
that's all we
he's
wanted.
How can you even hear that coming out of your own mouth and accept it? I don't get it.
Because, okay,
You're like those
No.
girls that have the cars is that a house divided with the
No, I
little
do not have
Florida
that shit.
State and the Florida
No,
license plate.
that's
And I'm like,
lame.
what type of person are you?
His girlfriend's like,
Family's bad.
this house will stay together whether you like it or not.
My God.
whatever. I don't mind them.
Embarrassing.
They're fine. It's fine. It's a good thing.
This
Listen
is
to
fine.
you.
This is
Sound
fine.
whooped, man.
Whatever.
Beaten.
I have a lovely girlfriend that makes me food.
Jesus, enough already. You're making me feel bad for
God,
you.
he makes Jesus.
I watch Game of Thrones too. I don't hear you giving me shit about that.
What?
I never watched it before. And then she's like, hey, start watching Game of Thrones with me. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's like season 8 or whatever the fuck season it is.
The closest I've come to that is I started watching American Horror Story this year because I've been dating Denise for over 3 years now, and like she always watches American Horror Story. I'd never watch it with her, and finally I decided to fall asleep and watch it this year. This year's actually kind of interesting because like they're like incorporating the election into it and stuff, but
It's like I actually like it a lot.
yeah, it's really not bad. The last episode, no spoilers, but the very ending was a very saw that one coming kind of thing, or didn't see that one coming kind of
Yeah.
thing. But
By the way, our friend Jessie says, "Hey, Frankie." Apparently,
she thought your name was Frankie for a while.
Who's this?
Our friend Jesse, who was the
Yeah.
one that kind of made us late today.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
I guess your name's Frankie now. Just want to let you know in case you see.
Maya, and I want to give a shout out to my buddy Chris Visual that's watching who recently moved to Washington. One of my first roommate ever. What's up, buddy? Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'm
tuning
jealous,
in.
dude. I'd always want to go to Washington.
Yeah, he lives out
You
there
got
now.
a girlfriend that used to live there too and want to watch her sports.
I'm pretty sure his girl. I'm pretty sure.
Want to go to Oregon.
I'm pretty sure his girlfriend doesn't watch sports. Actually,
She does.
Chris
She's a Gator.
No,
we're
Chris
talking
Visual.
about- Chris-
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, like my girlfriend's a Gators fan, a Texans fan, Astros fan. Like I watched the Rockets last night.
It sounds
That
like
was-
a miserable group of teams to like right now, like except for the Astros.
Dude, the Rockets beat the Warriors.
The
which was
Rockets did
great
beat- the
because
Rockets did beat the
Warriors had their
Warriors, yeah.
pomp and circumstance, and they ended up losing at the very last minute. I don't know if you guys saw it. The ball was like in his hand with like 0.02 seconds left.
So like, so this would mark the first time ever during this like in like how many years during the regular season that the Golden State Warriors currently have a losing record. 0-1.
Yeah.
They I don't think they obviously never had one last year, and they definitely didn't have one the year before that or the year before that. So
It's true.
so they finally actually have a losing record. If people could just follow suit with the Houston Rockets and keep doing that, that'd be great. That would
Go Rockets.
Frankie.
Where the fuck did she get Frankie?
I don't know.
from?
She said tell Frankie we said hi before we left, and
You gotta tell Frankie what's up.
That's
man.
what's up, dude. From
Frankie.
now on, I'm Frankie when the show starts. Seriously.
the Underground Pub Show produced by Frankie.
Yo, this is Frankie. This is the Underground Pub Show.
Kenny, if you could do like the next episode, like next week's episode, in that voice the entire time, I would be really appreciative.
That was what?
That would be really appreciative if you could do the whole next episode.
I'm sorry. What'd you just call me?
Frankie, I'm going you Frankie right now.
Well, you didn't a second ago.
Yeah, you called him the K word. It's
Yeah, I
Frank.
don't. know. I don't respond to that.
Oh,
anymore.
okay, that's right. I'm sorry. Hey, Frankie, use that accent from now on, eh?
That's the worst Italian accent I've ever heard.
Hey, you're getting your grind on my grind over here, eh?
I sound like Cuban Canadians. What was that?
Hey,
Oh,
My
douchebag New Jersey, what's up?
My God.
Douchebag, New Jersey. There we
Hey,
go.
fuck you. It always goes back to a Rodney Dangerfield
done.
impression.
He's
I'm
done.
done with the show now. I'm just gonna be on my phone.
Dude, I saved my best for the 50th.
Yeah, man, we're doing good for the 50th episode today.
No, this is like episode Jaws 4.
Episode Jaws the Revenge. We'll probably end up calling the episode that
Dude,
Jaws the Revenge.
Dude, you need to watch The Gifted. That show's awesome.
I already have.
What do you think?
I like it. I like the first episode a lot better than I like the one with the psychic guy, the silent guy that came up, the one that came out before the
Like, not the most recent one, the one before
other
that?
show. Yeah, it's this one guy's in a psychiatric ward, and he's sitting there and like he's,
Oh, okay. You're talking about Legion?
Legion. I
yeah.
tried to watch that twice already. I'm like, I just can't. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
feeling
didn't
it.
get quite
But
into
I'm
it.
feeling this one. I like this one.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Inhumans though was complete and utter garbo.
Dude, I got-
Greta Garbo. It was horrible.
I got an episode and a half in, and I'm like, Medusa, you cut off her hair the first episode? Like, what is the point of that?
I haven't actually
because
watched
they
it
couldn't
yet.
afford the special effects for her hair. Do you see how bad that shit looked?
Yeah, it's awful, dude. It looks like sci-fi, like,
Sci-fi does
Original
a better
movie
job
quality.
than that now. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Is Gifted on Netflix or
no, it's on Fox.
It's on
but
Fox.
You can watch it for free. Just go to fox.com and you can watch other shows there without even having a subscription
I'll
to Fox.
check it out.
Like the Orville's on there now.
Yeah, y'all are not the first two to tell me that The Gifted is definitely something, or Gifted
I
is
liked
definitely
it.
something to watch.
Yeah, I
so.
liked it too.
The girl reminds me a lot of the old cheerleader girl when she first started in the Heroes type of chick. Almost exactly the same, but fair enough.
Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah.
Hayden Panettiere, who went on to be Juliet Barnes in
Nashville.
Nashville.
Never watched
Yeah.
it.
I actually really like that show. I'm not gonna lie.
Is your friend Jessica related to a guy named Ollie by any chance?
I don't believe so. No,
but I
she's
know
from
who-
Indiana.
like, you talking about Oliver Hearst?
Talking about
yeah,
Oxenfree?
yeah. I went
Yeah,
to
that
school
guy.
with him.
Yeah, that was my drummer, man, for a long
Yeah.
time when I was in a hardcore band.
Yeah,
I
he.
went to school with him.
I think he's he bald dude, right? Oliver.
And I used to have long hair.
I think I know who you're talking
No,
about.
they're not related.
But no. Fuck, what was I just talking about?
The Gifted.
Nobody cares.
The Asian
Yeah.
chick from The Gifted's from the real world too.
Yeah,
no,
she's been a lot. She was actually also an agent in S.H.I.E.L.D. No. Yeah.
I actually.
she was like
No,
Chi-Chi.
she's in Gotham. She was Lois
Yeah.
Vicky Vale in Gotham.
She was Chi-Chi in the terrible Dragon
I
Ball.
don't know,
movie.
but Hayden
Shameless,
was
guys.
my whip
God,
back.
that
in the
movie-
Dude,
day.
I mean that was what got me into watching Nashville was Hayden Panettiere and how good
Dude,
she looked.
I
in
never
that.
watched
Like,
that show, but dude, fucking just starting on Heroes.
It got I just got stuck watching it because they're
She was in a season of Malcolm in the Middle too.
Yeah,
as
she
the
was.
babysitter.
Well, how I got into Nashville was before Nashville started on when it was originally on ABC. It took the time slot of a show called The Last Resort, which was a really cool show about a submarine that was stranded on an island, and basically the U.S. thought that they were abandoning orders. It was a really cool one-season show, and as it was about to end, they kept showing previews for Nashville. I was like, wow, that girl's fucking gorgeous. I'm gonna watch this show. And it had a lot to do with music, so I mean all the music business side of it kind of really caught my attention and stuff like that. And here I am, like years later, still watching it, and the acting is actually really good. The songwriting, I don't like country, let alone pop
Save
country.
the cheerleader, save the world.
Heard that.
She looked good in Scream 4.
Yeah, I mean it was
short hair.
it's just an interesting show. It's actually now on CMT, but I still like it. I'm not gonna lie, it's a drama. It's totally not like anything I would watch, especially because it's a drama that deals predominantly with country music. But can't help it. I like it. I think it's an interesting show. My girlfriend cries in every episode.
I was about to say, is your girlfriend making you watch it?
No, actually, I made her watch it.
My
Okay.
daughter.
I was trying to figure out. It's why CJ watches the shows he does. I'm
Is
sure.
it filmed in Houston?
No,
It is filmed in Nashville.
I guess Houston is the best city in America.
I kind of hate Houston. There's fun things to do there, but the driving will make you lose your fucking
Dude,
mind.
H-Town, son.
You ever been to Orlando?
Houston is worse. I've
Really?
been
Worse
yes.
than Orlando?
Houston, dude.
The traffic alone is fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
Orlando.
that's what I'm saying. Orlando's traffic is horrible,
Orlando's,
too.
but dude, Houston is far worse, dude.
Houston's
I promise.
like way bigger too.
Well,
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger.
They're two different kinds of shitty, right? They're apples and oranges. Orlando sucks because you got to pay to get on the fucking freeway everywhere.
Exactly. We're like Houston. Like once you're getting close to Houston, you have that like spaghetti bowl part of the interstate, and it's like I mean I've played in Houston a couple of times in some of my older bands, and like I swear to God, it looked like one of those scenes in Twister when you're driving your vehicle with a trailer on the back towards a tornado. That's what it felt like. Oh no, like fuck, here we go, so it's begun, and like you're sitting there trying to read all these different signs, like figuring out where you're gonna go. Like it sucks, man. It's just annoying. Atlanta's up there in the top 4.
Atlanta keeps moving though. Atlanta gets lots of cars, but you're still constantly moving.
Yeah, I mean,
But you have to jump out in your spot, or you're gonna be
if you miss your exit in Atlanta,
Go
you
all the way
are
back around.
you are
Well,
up shit
downtown
creek
for
without a-
sure. You know what's funny about Atlanta, about the freeway, and the fact that they filmed Walking Dead there was, in The Walking Dead, there's all those cars stranded on the freeway.
Yeah.
You ever notice when you're going to Atlanta, the closer you get to the city, the more broken down cars are on the side of the freeway? That's the worst city I've ever seen for that, man.
Yeah.
And they all have like the stickers on them, like if you don't pick them up in a few days, we're gonna tow these motherfuckers. And then you come back a week later and that car's still sitting there, dude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just sure the city can't even afford to fucking tow that shit anymore.
Yeah, I've had some really scary moments in Atlanta, man. In fact, Chris Visual, the guy I was giving a shout out to, him and I went to a concert out in Atlanta to go and met with a friend of ours.
Tabernacle?
No, actually, it was at the Masquerade.
Oh, okay. It was going to be one or the other.
After the concert was over, we took a wrong turn leaving the concert, and we went
Albuquerque?
We went from a really nice part of Atlanta. Well, I wouldn't say nice. It was a normal looking part of Atlanta to an extreme.
College Park?
I can't remember it. It is.
I'm being an asshole.
We're going back 10 years ago. But back then I had this really nice Dodge Stratus car.
Buckhead.
And before you knew it, like I took one wrong turn, and I was definitely in an area of Atlanta that was like probably like where half of like Young Jeezy's albums were like written about. It was fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
like,
some white folks from Buckhead.
dude, it was fucking terrifying. Like I like thank God we got
Straight
out of there.
from Covington.
I always wanted to go to Buckhead just because of Outkast, just to see what the fuck that place is all about.
Yeah, there was, dude, there was this rap group or like a label from the Atlanta area. They used to say they were from the COV, Covington. And I always pictured it as this fucking like, inner city, whatever. So we went to where they record their studio or whatever, and this shit was like bumfuck Egypt, like out in the country, and it was fucking nothing what I thought. Like they're representing Molino essentially. So that shit was like.
Whenever, like way back when I got asked to join Drayton Sawyer, whenever they gave me the address,
As John turns the conversation back towards himself.
yeah, right. But no, it's similar to what you're talking about. Like whenever they asked me to join that band, they gave me this address of where to go to, and it was like out on some part of Milton that I had never been to before. Where there was like this
I call that Milton.
Yeah, right. There was this like random racetrack there, and then a series of like of trailer parks. And I'm sitting here having to try to find the right one, and then like I pull into one, and like I was like, this cannot possibly be where a band practices at. And sure as shit, I see some guys walk out with like metal band shirts, and I'm like, okay, well I guess here I am. This ought to be interesting. It is nothing like what I would expected a band to be practicing at, but it went on to be 3 years of my life.
I have to pee. Are we done yet?
We are almost done. Yeah,
God, I have to go.
we got to do all of our picks first. No, I'm kidding.
No, we don't.
That's definitely not happening. No, we're just gonna go ahead and not do that
was
anymore.
So funny last time.
It was funny, but it's like it
Fucking
can't.
cracked
It's
me
like
up.
it's like it can't be recreated now, though.
But
it was good.
just fucking great.
It'll go on the greatest hits volume 2, right, Kenny? That's definitely
Who's gonna put that together?
Well, you will.
Yeah. See,
You're the producer.
You're getting paid to do that by the other show.
Yeah, so I mean, cool. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with that. Y'all keep an eye out for us for episode 51 next week. We'll probably talk more college football since we didn't mention it one bit today. But it is
No one likes college football.
it is worth mentioning. Clemson lost to Syracuse. That shit happened.
Wasn't that like 2 weeks ago?
That was actually 5 days ago.
Here, we'll put these up.
I thought that was okay. So Clemson lost. Georgia's doing stuff. I don't give a shit.
Georgia's.
TCU, true. Penn State.
Yeah, Clemson dropped down to 6. Miami's at 5. Penn State, of all teams, is at 4.
Penn State lost.
Did they?
Oh no, they didn't.
didn't.
No, they
No.
didn't.
No, Penn. Those top 4 teams are all undefeated, from what I understand. And I know TCU climbed up big with that victory over Oklahoma State. I mean, but obviously that's not going to stick. I mean, Alabama and Georgia are almost a lock-in.
Georgia's
going
going to lose to Florida.
I don't know, dude.
They're going to lose to Florida. I'm telling you right now. It doesn't matter.
They're going to lose to the team that lost to the team that lost
Yeah,
to Southern Alabama.
I heard that little whenever I called in on Play Harder Radio, I heard that. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, and Bama's still got to play LSU, but I don't see that being a problem since I don't know. College football, the SEC is just fucking weird this year. It's weird every year, but this year is really fucking weird. So cool. With that being
so
said,
weird. Everybody sucks except for Alabama. God, it's so different than usual.
Yes.
actually,
tell me how unique this season is and how everything's different and crazy because Ohio is still number 1 and Alabama is still number 1 and still doing the same thing with the same players and same coach and
he's just mad because the Gators are absolute garbage
the
this
same
year.
Offense and the same defense and everything's just the same. They're still playing colleges
football's
from
boring.
southeastern Kentucky and northwestern.
What the fuck are you talking about? The Gators play
Alcorn
the same
State.
teams.
No.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Well, I appreciate the humor, Bobo. I believe you just took a dip into the green water, my
Yes,
friend.
they play the
What?
same teams in the same conference.
No, well, I'm not talking.
And the Gators play trash,
I literally
too.
said the teams they play: Southeastern Alcorns. I'm talking about the out of
No,
conference
that's-
teams.
that-
you
yeah,
guys
you-
play some of those ridiculous out of conference teams.
so do you.
Michigan.
We played
Michigan?
Florida State
Please explain
first.
to me how we played Michigan.
Y'all can't beat Florida State, and we beat them seldomly. Like,
Well, I mean that's fine.
it's because we're better. Anyways,
No,
that'll
they
do
had
it.
their starting quarterback.
Yeah, and then he was no longer there. And if he was there, we would have beat him. Like,
Let's
we
see
opened
here.
up against Florida State. It was ranked number 3.
Well, obviously, what are they ranked now?
Florida State, because they've lost a bunch
Well,
of games
I mean,
since then.
well, yeah, of course they've lost a bunch of games, so they're crap. Now, where's Michigan at? Who's better right now, Michigan or Florida State? Let's just answer that
They
question.
definitely didn't lose to the team that lost to Southern Alabama. I know that for sure.
Yeah, that didn't happen. I mean, either Gators
USA's good though, man.
The
Watch
Ga-
out for those Jags.
the Gators play crap teams every year too.
J-A-G-U-A-R-S.
do
Go
it while
Jaguars,
being
go
number
Jaguars,
1
go
and
Jaguars.
act like
Meow.
you don't do it when we all know that you do.
Meow.
Let's.
I mean,
let me
yeah,
let me just look at who you guys have to play. Mercer, Mercer,
against Auburn, Mississippi
Mercer?
State,
Mercer,
All the teams in the SEC are terrible except for Alabama.
and Georgia. Georgia looks really good.
Colorado
this
State, Fresno State. They were good 10 years ago.
Carr was there.
year. Huh?
Yeah, when
That's where Carr
when
came
one of the
from.
Cars was there.
It was Derek.
The better car.
Mercer.
I don't agree with that.
Don't they repair cars?
The
didn't get a fair
Gators
shake.
were scheduled to play Northern Colorado in the second week, but that game was canceled.
Don't they sell cars? Does Mercer sell cars? Is that Eddie Mercer? Is that his college?
They played the University of Alabama Birmingham, who didn't have football just a few years ago.
Yeah, they're really good.
Well, they had football
They're
a year
back.
before that.
Yeah, so I mean, that argument. I mean, it was a good try, but
What?
you're usually really good about that, Bubba. But today,
No, I mean,
it's-
you guys are cupcake killers. You guys enjoy your cupcakes, and you eat them
every
too.
SEC team and ACC team plays a bunch of crap that they're not
Any
supposed to play.
cupcake with coconut, I'm down.
I like that. All right, cool guys. Thank y'all very much for tuning in to episode 50. We'll see y'all same time, same place next week on
Mercer.
the Underground Pub Show here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. Deuces.
Dude, where is Mercer?
I don't even know. I don't know.
Auburn played them this year too. Actually, they
You
get
know
them both.
how
Where
in
is
depth
Mercer?
of college football I am. I just don't even know where half these teams are.
Where is Mercer?
Or care.
Their logo is literally an M.
It's just that's it. Just a big M. on
Eddie
the-
Mercer Automotive. I told you there's a Mercer car store.
Mercer should be awesome in like 10 years because they made like fucking $1 billion.
It's
playing
in
Alabama
Macon,
versus
Georgia.
Alabama and Auburn this year.
Macon, Georgia. What is their enrollment's 8,000 people. There's more people that go to Coyotes on the weekend than there are in the University of Mercer. What's their logo? Yeah. You know, I will lie. A lot of these smaller schools like that do have really fucking nice campuses. Well, it's
Just wait till UWF is
look, their symbol is basically an M. I can't find their logo. I always use an M.
what are they? The Mercer
They're the orange M's.
the Mercer M.
That's what I'm getting from everything. It's just an M. It's orange, like burglary. But their colors are cool. Don't get me wrong.
Tune in
I like
every
the
Wednesday
burglary.
night at 8 p.m. Central
Yeah.
Time for the Underground
I don't
Pub
really
Show,
get that,
right
though.
here on the Pimpy K
Let's go to
Multiverse
Wikipedia.
Network.
Tell me who they actually are.
You are
The
one
oldest
pathetic
private
loser.
university in
Same thing
Georgia.
right after the
That's
credits.
something to be proud of.